Alright, so they're on plotted course. They're going to join the same rally mission we have going on here. Let's see. So, our alarm armed tornadoes are now airborne. They've got 5 hours of fuel. Rest of everybody else is starting to take. Why are these guys so low? Go to max altitude. Alright, so hang on, I need to. I have to manually override all this. All these guys aren't. Was wondering why they were. Well, their fuel range was so bad. They're staying down at 12,000 feet. I mean, I'm gonna drop them down for the attack when they go in for the attack, but Jesus, like, get higher. There we go. And why are you guys dropping down for? Go high. Not sure why they... There we go. Okay. Starting to get some better fuel efficiency out of those guys now. Now that I'm sure my aircraft aren't going to take off and have to immediately turn around. So, first things first here. Let's go ahead and send in... Normally I'd send in my alarm-armed aircraft first, but I really don't have a solid enough target to go hit the SAM sites. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to unassign them. And I'm going to go place them... So they're at altitude. They're going to go start closing in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send in my Storm Shadow armed first. And when they get to here, they will begin to drop down to low altitude. Drop them down to 12,000 feet at that point. And actually, you can just go and take off manual override at this point. You know, have them go to high altitude, so they'll at least start descending now. And I'm going to send in my Storm Shadow armed aircraft first to see if maybe I can pinpoint these SAMs for the alarm anti-radiation missiles, and then send in the rest of the strike as a follow-up. And let's see, how is everything else going? So F-15Cs are starting to come onto station here. Our strike tankers are just about on station 2. Our sub is on its patrol route now, and it's not picking up anything other than the IHawk that's over there. We have pinpointed its location firmly now. One thing about the sub is, can this actually can this... Okay, so I don't think this can air-to-air refuel. No, it cannot air-to-air refuel, so it's got about 3.5 hours of fuel left, so we still got plenty of time to get a replacement on the station for it. So you guys can start going down. Now, one thing I am going to have to do here is that when... You don't need your radars on. When we go in, we are going to probably stir up the Hornet's Nest pretty quickly here of those Tomcats coming in on us. So I want my F-15Cs, or my F-15Ss already in position when they inevitably kind of come in on us. So Storm Shadows are just about starting to step down their altitude now. And when they hit this point here, that'll be kind of their initial point, and at that point they'll drop down to 2,000. Or begin dropping down to 2,000. And then I'll send them in on their attack run. They'll go in and hit the Kark Island first. Alright, so Eurofighters are now entering their station. They should be up at max altitude for maximum fuel efficiency. Okay, so wish you could like mark these groups. I guess I could rename it, but instead of giving them generic names. So F-15C. You know, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna call it cap. Go ahead and rename all the groups that are up for combat air patrol. So I can at least pick out the ones that are called flight. I'll at least know are an attack group. Okay. So Storm Shadow group is now starting to drop down to their and turning on for their attack run. Turn off your radars. That's just gonna give you away. And so what is the range of the Storm Shadow? So Storm Shadow, no idea, 215 nautical miles. So we're actually already within range of... So actually what I'm going to go... So we're actually already in range, but I'm going to go and try and basically shove these missiles right down their throat, so to speak. If you fire from too far out, they will get intercepted. So I'm willing to take the chance at some losses. And why is my radar on these groups? That's just giving them away. Oh. Alright. So moving in on to the attack run now. Going to drop these guys down to 1,000 feet. So we are picking up target indicator, 2D surface, radar range only. So any idea what these are? No. Radar, target indicator. Alright, so we've got missiles coming in. Who are they coming in at, though? That is the question. They look like they're going for our alarm. So, drop these guys down 1,000 feet. So they've found our... In fact, go down to min altitude on this group. Whew. Okay. So, still closing in. Alright, so firing Storm Shadows now. Missiles away. And they are going to automatically kind of do a automatic kind of off-axis bearing. Tornadoes are turning around for home. And let's go ahead now and kind of still closing in on those radars. Not quite in range yet. It's going to turn in. We know those are hostile. Alright, so we did fire our alarm missiles. That group's going to go turn home. And hopefully what'll happen here is that those missiles will home in on those radars as long as they're illuminating. And they should... They're actually going faster than the Storm Shadows. So, with luck here, they should hit right before the Storm Shadows do. In fact, they're probably going to come in about the same time here. This is probably overkill if that's just 2 radar emitters, but I would rather risk misses. Or rather overkill and, have the redundancy for misses. So, got it. Crap, and we didn't go for any of the second one. So what I need to do here... Fire your missiles at... Alright, so... Alright, so our Storm Shadows basically got in without basically receiving any 100%, basically 100% impact to service. So some malfunctions, some missed, but looks like for the most part they all hit their targets. Alright, so this group is firing off their alarms. Alright, missiles away. They'll now turn. They are basically being lit up. Well, pretty good for the fact that they are down at 100 feet, that they're still being picked up, but all misses, and we're closing. Oh, we are picking up a radar. Oh, got a bogey coming up. That's interesting. So we are still picking up. Hopefully we're going to go for that other... Alright, so... Let's see. Got some missiles coming in, or we got some Tomcats coming in. And this is why we kept our... Where is... They're on their way home. They're on their way home. Sidewinder, Sparrow. AMRAAMs. Okay. Guess what, boys? You guys have some targets. And actually, I want to go... WRA, weapon release authorization, and where is the AM120? So 75 nautical miles. Go ahead and assign it about 50 nautical mile range on both of our, and the Meteor. Where is the Meteor at? The Meteor is going to fire at 60 nautical miles. Same kind of lesson as the Sparrow. That'll make sure that the target gets well within their engagement envelope before they fire. We do know that is hostile. Missiles are incoming. They are actually managing to shoot down a couple of our missiles. All right, but we are. So we did get some hits. So we did take out some of the fire control radars, so we're only getting our range only. Perfect. So unassign you. Your targets are... Okay, so where... So turn in all of my cap groups now. Now that we've got the F-14s to respond to us. Alright, so go ahead and turn in my Eurofighters. So they'll come in... So they are RTB. Go and kill those guys. Engaged offensive. This group here. Engage those two. Alright, missiles away. And they're so fixed on my returning tornadoes that they're just going to basically ignore the... Alright, so Su-22s. They're basically going to just ignore my F-15s coming in on them. Oh, there's only so many of these missiles that my... Max altitude and go to burner. Get clear. Alright, still getting a lot of misses with our AMRAAMs here against these Su-22s. Alright, the last remaining F-14 Tomcats in the world will at least die with a bang rather than a whimper, as footage has emerged of a wreck of an Iranian F-14 shot down during the ongoing clash between it and Saudi Arabia. The Iranian government refused to comment on speculated losses, but insists it is maintaining a positive kill ratio. So 1 F-14 down, 2 F-14s down. That's a hostile as well. What are you guys doing? What are you guys turning around for? Guess what? You guys get to go kill those two targets. Lots of F-14s coming in on us now. Alright, so looks like these guys have now gone out of range. They can now kind of go back to cruise and get back on their RTB. I just wanted them to basically speed out of there. So the F-14, these Su-22s are actually having a pretty good time evading my... Alright, you guys need to go basically kill that lone Su-22 that's still trying to close in on me. Alright, so we're killing the Tomcats pretty well. And here comes more. I'm going to say that AUG-9 radar basically, you know, gives the F-14 away. You can't miss that thing. Alright, so here they come. Of course not. Well, all the AUG-9s are definitely F-14s, but not... That's an Su-22. Alright, unassigned. Don't get too far out there. One thing I don't want to do, I don't want to stray into Iranian air defenses, so... definitely want to lure them into coming to me. Oh, what the hell happened there? Okay. Alright, so they'll turn around. Getting some incoming missiles of our own. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. So pull our aircraft back a little bit. Yeah, the Su-22 seemed to be avoiding the missiles a lot better than the F-14s were. Alright, so we actually lost... we've lost a couple of F-15s already. What is our losses? So we've lost... I don't want to look at Iranian losses. I feel that's kind of cheating at this point. So we actually haven't lost any aircraft so far. That's really interesting. We might lose this group because they are awfully down pretty low. And they've got missiles coming in on them. Hopefully they can get some of that energy back and kind of get airborne. Or not airborne, get some of that height back. Nope, they're going defensive again. What I don't like is when you get your, you know, they kind of get into just that constant loop of constantly dodging missiles and they just can never really disengage. I mean, yeah, I know you can change that. Yeah, you can change off the don't go defensive, but in this situation, I really don't want to do that. Alright, so still getting some missiles coming in on us. So far, decoys are doing pretty well. Gonna let this latest flight of F-14s come in a little farther before I order the engagement. Men, I'm really surprised that this group... Oh, they got one. Fuck, I was going to say, this group has so far avoided anything, and but they just kind of got in that infinite loop of just constantly turning. Alright, more missiles incoming. Alright, get that group back to base. And go to Afterburner. Get the hell out of there now. And actually, I want to pause this. Just because I always... Automatic evasion, no. For this group only. Stop getting into a turning fight and just get the hell out of there. So, all right, too late. Yeah, he just got stuck too much in the infinite, let's keep turning loop, which is the same thing these guys are getting into. So, time to give these F-14s something to worry about. So, since they're not firing at my Eurofighters, we will send the Eurofighters to go kill F-14s. And just for the sake of, hey, let's give these F-14s more to worry about, this group can go RTB. We're going to go basically punch as much missiles down. Alright, so both of these groups are RTB. That's fine. Yeah, those F-14s don't want to go. Already turning away. Already getting meteors shoved down their throats. Although that's pretty much the full launch of meteors from this group, though. Yeah, if they dodge all those meteors, lots of beaming and jinking going on there. Yeah, that's pretty much what was going on there, Pixel. Yeah, kaboom. AMRAAMs are locked on. Bang. 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 And bang. So one of them survived. And he's not going to survive them for very much longer. Meteors away. Alright, so this group of Eurofighters is RTB. This group's going to have to RTB here as soon as their missile... let's go on RTB, just that group now. They've got the chance to disengage, might as well. This group can actually stay on station a little longer. And Og-9 is dead. So pull this group back. What's this group doing? Sidewinders. Huh. Alright, so this group can stay on station. Oh, wrong button. Not sure why I keep hitting F3 instead of something else tonight. Alright, so they are RTB as ordered. This group is just kind of pulling back. I'm going to go and pull this group kind of back more towards the coast as well. And that pretty much, those F-14s look like they're basically in full flight retreat, so they're probably out of ammo at this point. And look at this. Our F-15Ss that we've been waiting for over here in the in the north have pretty much just arrived on station. So I'm going to go ahead and unassign them from the mission that they were on. Turn off the radars. Perfect. And what we will do is we will send them there. Actually, let's move that point. When they get down to this point here, actually, let's do a couple of waypoints. So go there. So go there. There. They're max altitude now, so when they get to this point, they can go down to 25,000, or they get to there, they can go down to 25,000. When they get to this point, they can drop down to 12,000. and then when they get to this point here, they will go down to 2,000 feet. So that'll drop them down. They should disappear off radar at that point. In fact, I want to drop them down a little sooner. And then when they basically go from there, they're going to go for the one group. I'm going to send for the Abadan refinery. And the others are going to go strike those oil wells. And I guess with that, I can also just go ahead. How's their strike looking? So, plenty of fuel at this point in time. So while they're going and doing that, I'm going to go ahead and have my two groups of F-15Cs here go ahead and begin refueling. That'll top off their tanks. They've got about 2 hours of fuel now, but I would rather have their tanks, but they've used up about 3/4, or about a quarter of their tank. So I would rather have them fully refueled before, while the strike aircraft move in. Yeah. Alright, and it looks like we've got... Oh, crap, we got more incoming. That is if I had to guess, that is probably a strike coming in. And we don't really have anything... So what I'm going to have to do here... Launches group. Actually, you know what? Abort launch. I'm going to launch the rest of my Eurofighters. Same as before, I'm going to launch them in groups of 2, and then once they're launched, I'm going to go and assign them to the Elent East mission. Actually, AAR East, Air-to-Air Refueling East. I don't really want to launch those F-15s right now, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and launch. I want to save those for any additional strikes I run. I don't really have that many aircraft configured for striking, just my Tornado, so I really have to be careful with them. And my F-15s over here. Those are the only ones configured for attack right now. I don't think I have anything ready to relaunch. Nope. Storm Shadows, they'll be ready in about 6 hours. They'll be ready in about 10 hours. F-15Cs, they're ready in about another 2 hours. So I really don't... I'm not going to have anything available. So if this is the strike coming in on us, we're not going to have much to stand in its way. But that all being said, I was in the middle of conducting my own strike here. So what else do we have? Paveways... I'm going to go ahead and rename a couple of these groups real quick. I think I can rename... No, won't let you rename one group or multiple groups at a time. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I've got the rest of my Eagles already airborne, so might as well use these guys. And all the action with the F-14s coming in on us, I kind of... would have been a bad idea to send these guys in. Or maybe it would have been a great idea, because then we would have taken some losses, but we could have also might have got some of these guys through, but... yeah, it'd be kind of nice if you could rename a bunch of groups at once, but I understand why you can't. So I'm going to go ahead and unassign all of these guys. Turn off their radars, because I know why radars are automatically turning on. It's because my side MCON setting is set to that, and that's because my radars, if I were to set the MCON to off, all my radars would turn off unless I went and manually turned them on. It's just a quirk of the scenario. So that's why I haven't gone and changed that. So when you guys get to this point, go down to 2,000 feet. Actually, I'm going to do this in a couple of... I'm going to have to manually plot these out a little bit. So there... All these guys are armed with bombs, so... and I think I want to make sure minimum release altitude is... Okay, so these guys have to be at least 10,000 feet at launch. So it was a good thing I checked that. So go here, go here. When you guys get to there, go down to 12,000 feet. Paved ways, they have okay, so minimal launch altitude looks like it's about 10 on guided bombs, so when they get to there, they can just go ahead and start dropping down. Gonna have to just send in a bunch of strikes all at once here. I'm not trying to precisely time on target all of these in case anybody's wondering. I'm really just trying to get them all orientated. And I could set up a strike mission, but I would rather manually control all these myself. Oh, hey, look at this! We have some... I have a group of alarm anti-radiation missiles, so that's good. And this group here, where's the... These guys can just go there, there. When they get to this point, they go down to low altitude. Alright, so the whole strike is now beginning to turn in. So we're going to launch our own strike here. And we're basically going to pound that oil facility. And... I'm going to call this one ARM for anti-radiation missile. And actually, I want... So, perfect. So this group here, we're still do we still have fire control radar on the island? Radar indicator. Yeah, we're still probably finding... So I'm going to launch 3 missiles manually control 3 missiles at each of those radars that we're still picking up there. And how's the strike in the north going? So our F-15s are moving into range. Our F-15Cs are refueling now. Still not picking up anything over here on this side other than the IHawk. Looks like those are actually more patrols. I thought that was an incoming strike, but it looks like it's not. It looks like just more groups of fighters coming in. Although, hopefully, by the time our strike aircraft can go in, hit the target, hopefully they won't have time to get into range. But if they do, by the time they get into range, we will hopefully have our Eurofighters over here into range by then.